Well, hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I am Susan, your hostess. Last night I decided I was going to get into our canned good pantry, and I've got canned goods, and we're trying to work our way through them and ultimately get away from buying commercially canned products because we don't know what they're putting in them anymore. So anyway, I've got a ton of fruit, canned fruit, and I've got about 2.5 cases or better of applesauce. Now, canned fruit will eventually start tasting like the metal in the cans if it's left in there for any length of time. And I've got some that were best used by in December of 22. I've got some for 23, and I think the other box is 24 or 25. Anyway, today I'm going to recan some canned applesauce. This is unsweetened applesauce. I am not adding any sugar to it to recan it. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, this is a bit of a rebel canning episode because it is not approved, but it can be done. And I'm going to find the recipe in my canning book for applesauce. I had it marked and then I lost the page. I think it was 182. Yes, page 182 for applesauce out of the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. Now, this is the easy way to do this. You can get the number 10 can, or you can use up these little 15-ounce cans of applesauce, but you're going to follow the cooking time and the canning time off the recipe in the Ball Canning Book. So, this would call for 12 pounds of apples peeled, cored, and quartered. And then you would add 3 cups of granulated sugar, which was optional, and 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. I've sterilized my jars, and I've got my canning lids and my bands ready. And I'm going to take my applesauce out of the cans. I'm going to put it into a large stainless steel stock pot. And I'm going to bring it to a boil over medium heat. I'm not going to boil it past that. Just bring it up to that boiling temperature. And then I'm going to transfer it into my jars. I'm going to debubble and wipe the rims with the vinegar and all that. Get my lids attached, get them banded, and get them into a hot bath. My jars will be hot, the product will be hot, and my canner will be hot. You will bring this to a boil in the canner for both pint and quart jars for 20 minutes. Then you're going to wait 5 minutes, and then you're going to remove it from the canner and allow it to sit on your counter overnight. Then you're going to check for the seal. If the jars are sealed, you can pick the jars up by the lid, and it will not come off. Normally, if it's not sealed, it's just going to pop off anyway. Just so you're aware of that. I dropped the can. Anyway, I want to move all my fruits out of the tin cans and get them into jars and prolong the life of the fruit product. And you're probably going to be seeing me do some recipes with applesauce or apple butter. And I think I've got some canned peaches and some mixed fruit back there. So there'll be several videos coming out. She's mouthy. There's several videos coming out, so you will be seeing that in the next few days, me recanning some fruit. And we're going to get in the kitchen and we're going to get to it. This is my canning adventure. I hope that you will stick around and come along with me. The 14 cans, I'm going to find me a spatula. Got a heavy bottom stock pot right here in the sink. We're just going to go ahead and get these poured into my stock pot. Now I may open up some more cans. It depends on how much these fill up. I've got 23 jars in my canner that I have sterilized. Now my canner is a Bollington, and it is a tamale pot that Triple Threat Firearms and Defense sent me when I first started my channel, and I absolutely love this pot for canning. It's got a good rack in it, and I can do a large batch all at once. So I'm going to get all these cans emptied out, and I've got about, I'd say, close to 3.5 cases of applesauce. I had no idea I had this much applesauce on my shelf, but I did. So we're going to get this done, and I will be back once I get this pot filled up. Okay, I've got 14 15-ounce cans of applesauce in my stock pot. I'm fixing to put it on medium-high heat. I'm going to bring this to a boil and then turn my heat off. Now I am going to stir to keep it from sticking. And we are boiling. So now I'm going to remove it from the heat, and we're going to get this canned up. Alright, we're supposed to get these up to 1/4 inch headspace. Get my right scoop. I'm working in small batches, so I'm going to get all these jarred up, and then I'm going to open up some more cans and get that heated up and keep these jars warm while I'm waiting on the rest of it to heat up. And then we're going to can all of this at one time. That way I don't have as many canning, having to have more than one canner going at a time with this. And I will check the measurements on this. We're going to see how many 14 cans will give me. That will help me judge how many jars I will need to do. I'm hoping to work through what I have out on my counter today and come back another day and do the apple butter with the same applesauce, canned applesauce. I'm going to stop right there. We're going to debubble. And that way, if I need to, I left one jar a little bit shy, we can come back and work on that jar. But we're going to check our gauge. That one's good. That one may be a little bit much. So we're going to add just a little bit more to each one of these jars. This one's got just a tad too much. And then I'm going to add some more to this last jar that I didn't fill all the way up. That should be good. Get that out of my way. Now we're going to clean the rims of our jars. I'm cleaning it with some vinegar. This is to check for chips and also to clean any fruit that's gotten onto the rim of your jar while you were adjusting it. Alrighty. Now I'm going to apply the bands and the lids, or the lids and the bands. And I've had my lids soaking in some hot water. That just softens the gasket a little bit. Ball doesn't even recommend this anymore, but I still do it because it helps to make sure that you have a good seal on your jars and less chance of a failure. And these are the last of my Golden Harvest, or whatever brand that was, that I bought canning lids. Now I need to find my tool. Bring in a little closer, and I use 4 fingers to center that on my jar. Then I'm going to use my index finger, touch that, and then drop my band on. And then once it's tight that way, I'm going to tighten it again. Left hand, finger tight. And we're going to get this into the canner. And then I'll pull out some more jars when I get all these done. Okay, I've got 23 pints loaded in my canner. I'm going to add my lid. And we're going to wait for steam to come out around, and we're going to set our timer for 20 minutes. Allow your pot to steam for 20 minutes. Turn your burner off and allow your pot to cool for 5 minutes. I'm going to actually vent the lid. Hot, 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 hot. You don't want to burn yourself. We're going to allow this to vent for 5 minutes. It's time to take it out of the canner. Always make sure the lid is not facing towards you, because you will get a scald on your arm. We're going to start removing the jars. Applesauce. Didn't have to do all the work for it, but did have to recan it. And the reason I recanned is because I don't want my applesauce tasting like metal. When the cans get close to the date, best used by date, or past that date, you may want to recan. You know, I could have added some cinnamon or nutmeg or allspice to this and changed the flavor of it, but we just like plain old applesauce. And I'm using the Arkansas glass jars today, y'all. They do work both in a water bath canner and a pressure canner. I've used them in both, and you can order them. I will try to remember and put a link to Arkansas glass in the description box below this video. The jars, they come without the bands and the lids. They sell the one-piece lids if you want to try canning with one-piece lids. I've done it before. Give my arm a break. They're a little bit cheaper than what you would buy in the grocery store. Alright, I've got a few more jars to get out of the canner. I have to move to the other side of my counter. So just know that they are out of the canner and they look like they're going to seal. Our plans are to move our stock pots and appliances in here and to be done with buying store-bought goods and go to completely being self-sufficient. Well, y'all, we've had another successful canning adventure, and I'm super excited to have applesauce go from tin cans into glass jars to go on our shelf. Now, this is what was left over out of 27 cans that I opened, so it's a little less than a cup of applesauce there. It's going to go into the refrigerator. I may add this into the apple butter when I make that, or I may go ahead and just eat it because I love applesauce anyway. I did have a canning boo-boo, y'all. I scalded my arm. You see the little scald mark there? Now, I've been soaking it down in vinegar to kind of help pull the heat out of there, and I'll be all right. But, you know, canning boo-boos happen all the time. And I lifted the lid the wrong direction. So be careful when you're removing lids. Y'all, this is a Rebel canning video. Do your own research. Do this at your own risk. Don't just take my word for it. It's my kitchen, my rules. So if you try this, just know that it was successful for me. And as long as you're following what the Ball book says on canning fruits, you should be safe doing this. Well, I thank you again for watching. Thank you for all the new friends that are coming onto the channel and for all the friends that are here already. And may you be fully blessed.